Let's go back to our top story now, that deadly shooting at a Tennessee school. This year alone, there have already been 13 school shootings in this country. That means we're averaging one school shooting a week.
And if we pull back even more than that, since the massacre at Columbine High School in 1999, there have been a staggering 380 school shootings in America.
Many of those young people who survived those shootings in the schools have now grown up, and that includes Joylyn Bukovac. Joylyn is a reporter at our NBC affiliate in Nashville, WSMV. She was at the scene of the shooting yesterday.
Yeah, there's absolutely no words for what's going on today. I'm actually a school shooting survivor myself. It happened years ago. I was in 8th grade, and all of this is it's just flooding back flashbacks for me and what I went through with my classmates. I was actually in the hallway during break when the gunman opened fire, shooting one of my peers and killing them. And just after hearing the gunshots, I just knew to run and hide. I hid underneath the risers in my choir class, and those minutes and hours of waiting to be released by police officers, that just felt like a lifetime.
Joylyn Bukovac joins us now. Joylyn, so glad to have you with us. Thank you for being here. Can I just ask, how are you right now?
I'm hanging in there, considering yesterday I think I was just functioning out of a place of pure shock. As soon as I heard people here in the newsroom say school shooting, it's been confirmed, my heart just sank to the very bottom of my stomach. I could not believe it and begin to wrap my mind around what was going on, what people here in Nashville were experiencing. It was something that's way too familiar for me. I was once in a school where it's supposed to be safe, you're supposed to feel safe, and I never would have imagined that I would have heard a popping, which ended up being a gunshot, and witnessing one of my classmates who got shot and died because of it. It was just so much adrenaline pumping through my veins yesterday. It took me right back to that spot that I was at 13 years ago, whenever I was hiding and completely uncertain over what's going to happen next. Will I see my family again? And I know that is something that was racing through many people's minds here in Nashville today, and that just breaks my heart.
Joylyn, we understand that you've been, pretty private about that experience in middle school, or at least it hasn't come up in the way that it did this time on air. What made you decide to mention that on air while reporting about this in that moment?
Well, I don't talk about it often, but I do reflect on it probably about once a day in my day-to-day life. I think about that family that lost their loved one in the shooting that I was at. And it's just something that I just keep in my heart. And the reason why I felt compelled to share it yesterday, I was very hesitant, but there came a time where I was like, I was seeing the parents running with babies in their arms, with their kids in their arms, trying to get away from everything and just trying to get their kids home safely, something that they might have thought they weren't going to do. And I just knew that they needed my insight, because I was once there hiding, and I know how traumatizing it is and how emotionally taxing it is. I really wasn't even up to talk about it with even a therapist until several years later. About 2 years later, I was ready to unpack it a little bit, but it really took a lot of time. And now I'm a mom. I have a 1-year-old, and I'm scared for the future too, just like many parents here in Nashville and across the country. So as a mom, I wanted to help other moms learn how to navigate these trying times that they're going to face.
You mentioned, Joylyn, on Twitter, you mentioned being a mom and being a survivor and saying something needs to change. I know you're a reporter. Do you have any thoughts on what needs to change, or whether in Tennessee there could be changes coming?
Well, unfortunately, I don't have the answers to that, but I'm looking forward to having those tough conversations with people here in the community in the next coming days, weeks, and months, as we continue to find answers and try to figure out how can we make sure that our kids are safe? How can we make sure that our kids can go to school without fearing that they're going to get hurt or even lose their lives, like what we saw yesterday, unfortunately?
Absolutely. I know you've said that your experience made you want to be a reporter. You also just shared with us that maybe while it's not something you talk about a lot, it's something that you think about once a day. I wonder how it shaped you as a reporter and kind of what you'd like other people to take away from that, maybe parents who are now going to be dealing with that in their home.
Yeah, definitely. What I said earlier, I know what it's like to not know answers. And whenever you're waiting and you're hiding from a gunman, you're relying on media. You're relying on watching the news and refreshing social media and the internet. We were refreshing Google and Bing and searching over and over and over, trying to figure out what was going on and finding answers. And that really drives me today. I want to find answers for these people who don't know what's going on, who don't know if their loved ones are safe. No matter what story I'm covering, I really try to find answers as quickly as possible, and that's what drives me. And I know my family, they were looking for answers too, whenever they were trying to figure out if I was okay in that school shooting. So that's what really drives me today as a reporter.
Joylyn Bukovac, it is great to have you with us. I wish it were for different reasons, but thank you for sharing all of that. Really appreciate that from our NBC affiliate in Nashville. Thank you, Joylyn.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.